Good morning and welcome to Friday Live and Mail Call here at the Retirement Railroad. I have been cleaning some track and I know John has as well. So hang tight 1 second here. Train stopped. It should not have. Anyway, here nor there. It is what it is, right? There she goes. Oh, well, it's heated back up. And to get the cameras to work right, I have to close the garage door. Now, I do have a fan blowing, so that's a good thing. But like I said, it is hot. It's supposed to be triple digits today, here in. All right. So, and of course, I've got my sidekick here from Good morning, John. No sound, John. It was working a while ago, but it isn't working now. Nope, nothing. Nope, nothing. Can't hear a word you're saying. All right. Well, we do have our other sidekick here. Good morning, Lynn.
Oh, hi. Far out, peace.
John, you got your sound working yet? Nope. Still nothing. How can you go from working fine in the pre-show?
I don't know.
There you go. Now you're working.
Okay, I shut it off and turned it back on. That's what I had to do. Reboot. I don't know. It was working. Yeah.
Reboot.
Yeah.
And of course, I sent an invitation to Jason, the train freak, and of course he won't go on lunch for another 30 minutes. But we don't want to feel him left out.
And I'm riding on the cotton belt railroad line in the pigeon rolling rhythm and noise.
And Lynn, you're kind of an honorary I-40 guy, since you're south on I-10, but off of I-10 or closer to I-10, but you're close enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's run through who all we have with us this morning, and the first person was JD, Grandpa Rails, followed very quickly by John, Schuylkill River Valley, and John Banicki, JB, and JD.
3 Johns in a row. Can't beat that.
Well, yeah, you can.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yes.
So, if we include middle names, we got some Joes, a lot of Joes here, since my middle name's Joseph, and Schuylkill River Valley, John's middle name is Joseph, or Joe. and of course that we have Mr. Joe Rader with us on time. So does that make it 2 weeks in a row now after he had his reset? So
yeah, I think so.
I think that's 2 weeks in a row. Okay, his record so far is 3. So, all right. Now he did show up on time for the
Workbench Wednesday.
But that's still within the same week. So we can't credit him another week when it happens in the same week.
Hey, John's got a train running.
Yeah.
I see that. We'll get looking at that here a little closer in a minute. No, don't leave, by the way, Joe. Just because the Johns are flexing their muscle.
Yeah.
Audio check is good from John Schuylkill River Valley. That's always a good thing. Andy, Hot Dog Pilot Andy is here with us from across the pond, which is always a good thing. Good morning, Andy. All right. Hi is with us from Holland, or the Netherlands. And matter of fact, this is the weekend of the big koi show over in the Netherlands, but they moved the location. It's no longer in Arson. So anyway, I've got a bunch of friends over in that part of the world, and coming from all over the world to the Netherlands this week, and for this weekend's show. Matter of fact, I'll start judging today. All right, and let's see. As we scroll down through here, I think that gets us all caught up. So cool. I'm going to give my update first. I made it another week. I have not bought or had anything delivered yet. Now I put a few things on reserve at Caboose Stop Hobbies, but I will not get those until September, until my box fills up, so to speak. And haven't bought anything else. I need some supply item stuff too. I've been just kind of fiddle farting around on some ongoing projects and building some subcomponents. Working on the layout where the steam engine is currently parked. I'm getting ready to start putting in the station platforms there, and the railroad signal crossing. So those are the two big things I've been working on. Did I check behind door number 2? Door number 1. I wish door number 1, that garage door, was open. So this may be a shorter than usual live stream. It's already 90 degrees. So
well, and with your challenge for the month, we're not having mail calls, so you kind of shortened it yourself.
Yeah. Well, I always have something I can show off that I'm fiddling with here. As an example, let's see, what do we got on the workbench over there? What do I have on the workbench over there? If you look, let me change this to that. You can't see it because of the my name's in the way. But on the workbench, that's the paint booth. We're not doing the paint booth anyway, so that's here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to this one. Now that the coach, if we look at the upper left screen, the Concord coach is that center car above the old style cars, the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that one's done. All right, which means I'm getting ready to do the Rock Island, which is the red one right behind it. So this week I brought out, dug out a couple of my Burlington heavyweights, and hooked them up to the 464 Hudson, and that's what's going to be going on the Motorman, which lost connectivity for some reason or another. And
Steve, we had another John join us. Mystic John is on.
Mystic! Hello, John. So anyway, and Edward Katie has joined us. Happy Valley Hobbies has joined us as well. So cool. And so anyway, I've got this heavyweight running back and forth, but I had to light those coaches. All right. One of them was already lit. The other one had the pickups in place and the wiring for the marker light on the back. All I had to do is put together a light strip thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Where'd he go?
I'll be right back. I'm over here.
He's over someplace.
Yeah.
Well, Steve's running around in the garage. I can
I'm right
see
here.
that, but I can't reply to it as quick as everything is coming up. It's not easy. And Hot Dog Andy is feeling left out because nobody said anything to him.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, he did.
He's talking about he needs to take a bath because everybody's ignoring him.
Oh, the other people might be ignoring him,
That could be that.
but I'm not.
Yeah.
All right. You go up to 10:36 a.m. He says, "Shucks, thanks, Steve." It's just nobody else is saying hi to him.
You know, we like our European connection with Andy and Hi. You know, that's spreading across the sea.
Across
So
the
anyway,
pond.
what I was getting at is inside those heavyweights, or at least the observation, put together a light bus, and then two of these 3 LED strips are soldered and stuck onto that, and then 2 of these 2200 microfarad capacitors.
And we also had Dwight, Digger, and Bernard C. join us.
All right. Hey, Bernard, Dwight, and Digger. There's Digger.
Yeah.
All right. Another one of our cousins from Great Britain, the UK, England. So anyway, that's what I did for that car. It's not done. I want to put an interior in it, and I've got to do some fixing on it. But at least it's on there, ready to take the place of the commuter train. So.
Yep. Yeah, and for me, I think I broke your challenge, Steve. I did buy, and we may or may not be able to count this. Does that count?
Did you buy it for the railroad?
No, I bought it for some of my 3D prints.
Are the 3D prints for the railroad?
Yeah.
Busted. All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of it. Yes.
It's kind of like There's some things I need to get, household stuff, but I don't need it for the household. I need it for the railroad, and that would bust me. So
Yeah, and I got my airbrush out and it's working great after 20 some years of not using it.
that's good.
And I wanted to paint my Jeeps that my son 3D printed for me.
Yeah, those are pretty
So-
cool. You showed us those last week.
Yes.
So
And they're primed and ready for painting. So I wanted to go ahead and get the paint so I could start doing them.
so you got your train running there?
Yes, I do. In fact, it's coming around the mountain there.
They'll
That's,
be coming around the mountain.
That's 24 cars. Not all of them are properly weighted yet, but I'm working on that. But they do pull nicely and they don't string line over my curves. Of course, I've got 30-inch plus curves on my layout. So, yeah, they're not tight turns. So,
Dwight's having problems with his 3D printer.
we do occasionally on the prints have problems with them, and a lot of time it's just playing with the settings per whatever you're printing. You can't use the same settings on everything, so it may just take a couple of tries to get it right. But
Boy, that
yeah,
RS3 is hauling a lot of cars.
yeah, well, I did have 27 or 28 on there.
Cool.
But I had some coupler issues, height issues, and so I got to work on those a little
Are the
more.
height issues or are they the protos?
No,
The scale couplers.
no, it's all, they're all the 148s, but
Okay.
I have to adjust them. A couple of the bodies are setting a little too high, so I got to lower the body some on the, because I did body mount all the couplers on those. So
Dwight says his issue is the motherboard. So I've got an issue with 3D printer too. My issue is I don't have one
I've got that same problem. Yep. I don't know.
yet.
Well,
so Edward
remember,
says it's an RS1.
it is an RS1. Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Yes.
can't tell. I've got an RS3 and I can't tell the difference.
The stack is a little different on them.
Okay.
But they're hard to tell between a 3 and a 1. That is correct. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I did get some track painted this week. In fact, I was finishing cleaning off the rails right before the live stream, so I could get this train to run the loop. So, a couple spots I need to touch up, but now in Steve's show on doing track painting, let's see, where is it? He gave a couple different things that he used to clean track. Well, I'm using a paint stick, and I'll tell you what, it does a good job. And that paint has been on there almost a week, and I had very little trouble getting it off of this paint stick because
using that strip of MDF.
Yeah, this is actually soft enough where it's making grooves where the rail goes in, and you can maybe see them. But it's doing an excellent job. I only got about, maybe a third of my track painted, and I didn't do any of the turnouts because I didn't have the areas of the points covered. Even though I've got jumpers on most of mine, I don't have them on all of them. So I want to make sure I keep that area nice and paint free. So I'll work on that this next week. Try to get the rest of the track painted, and see, I'm going to have to go out and buy another bottle of Tamiya paint that I'm using for the track. So I'll be out of the competition. you know, and we're still debating on whether Lynn is still in the running for the competition.
I blew it.
Well, it was debatable though, since it was something that you wouldn't actually use on the railroad.
Yeah, Joe says the cabs are different too, and
Maybe
uh,
slightly.
and Mystic says he thinks the trucks are different.
Mm. Well, then I haven't looked at them close enough for that, but I do know these are RS1s because that's
So
what the C&E I had was RS1s.
you know, it's kind of like looking at the SWs and trying to figure out which one's which.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's basically all I. Well, I cleaned up. I got my industrial area set back up. After I get the track painted next week, I'm gonna start ballasting, and I'm gonna ballast in my uh, industrial area first, and work out from that. Since it's really back and off the main line, I could still run trains without messing it up doing the industrial area. Plus, I've got, I don't know, 12 turnouts in the industrial area that I'm gonna have to get all painted. RS1 has a roof overhang. I have never looked that closely at an RS3 to see that they don't have overhangs. But thanks for that, Joe.
Valley says this is a 3.
Yeah, I don't see a roof overhang on it, so I guess that is the difference.
I can feel it, but I can't quite see it.
Mine has a good eighth of an inch overhang. You can actually physically see it. So, and maybe when it comes by on this side here,
To, dig mine out of my train boxes and see if I can see. Mine's supposed to be an RS3. So.
But now I know you saw all the gondolas going by, and
Yep.
you know those black gondolas. They only made 2 to 3 numbers on those. So just about every one you find on eBay is 82005. Well, none of those are 82005.
Then you need to get one.
Well, I've still got more I haven't renumbered.
Okay.
I went over this about a month ago about how I renumbered it with the printer and yeah. See that, Lynn? That has an overhang. He is correct on that. But I renumbered these. Of course, you can't print white on the printers, so I did a black background and I used white backed decal paper, and that's how I came up with the white numbers. And it works great. I mean, you only have to put one thing on each side instead of trying to set all the different little numbers on there. Originally, I was going to try to wipe out like the 005 and change the last 3 numbers, but you know what? I've got too many of them, and they're a cheap car. I think maybe the most I ever paid for one was like $7. So I'm already adding KD couplers. I'm already adding metal wheels. Some of them I had to redo the trucks because the pins or they broke or the pins broke. Because these are all cars that are 30 years old, maybe even 40 years. Old AHMs. So I don't want to spend time I've got about 30 of them. I don't want to spend.
Yeah, back in the day, manufacturers didn't do multiple runs for numbers.
Yeah, so
until they redid a whole nother run like 5 years later.
Mm-hmm. The only problem I found with the decal paper I'm using, it is a little thicker. So when I cut them out, I get a white edge on them. So all I do is take a number 10, 10-aught brush or a 20-aught brush and just a little bit of flat black paint and just paint right around the edges. It seals them, and you can't see it when it goes by. If you pick the car up and look at it, you'll see that it's raised off the car. But you know what? It's my railroad.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but it's turning out good.
Well, Lynn had sent me some pictures. So, let me.
I'm out of the challenge. I blew it last weekend.
All right. So
Oh,
there's one of the first pictures Lynn sent me.
This has nothing to do with spending money. This is what happens when you have the crate for your modules and a bolt comes loose. Now, the bolt goes in this way. It literally had gone up. And then when we tried to pull the modules out, it wouldn't come. All these guys were grabbing it, pulling it. Literally, we bent the bolt. But I didn't realize it until Tuesday of this week when I unloaded the truck. Monday I was bruised and banged up and everything else. And here was this bolt sticking up inside. So when the mod would come out, it would catch on the bolt.
Uh-huh.
So I'll get
Hey,
you
Steve, make your picture big.
Maybe.
Oh, you're not there. Okay.
So I'm going to put Loctite on it this time.
There we go.
I mean, this is a good sized bolt. This isn't
Yeah.
a drywall screw. This is a.
Looks like about a 3/8 bolt.
This is a 1/4 inch across.
That's only a 1/4 inch.
Yeah. That caused a lot of trouble. Interesting about you running your RS this morning, because I thought, I'll put something different on the track behind me here. And I was going to run this. And I thought, well, the track's dirty or something. Turns out it was the wheels. When I got to the show Friday we set up, and we didn't have much time. They wouldn't let us start setting up until after 4 o'clock. It was like 4:15, 4:30 before we really started setting up. And this was a 54 by 34 foot layout set up all the way around. We almost filled the room. There was a separate room with 4 other layouts in it, and a guy with a G scale next to us that had a display big enough to run around. But we had to come back Saturday morning and finish setting up because they said we had to leave at 9 o'clock. So we only had from 4:30 till 9 o'clock. But I couldn't find my throttle. I know where I usually keep it. Not this one, but the radio one. This one's a tethered one. And
Have a good lunch, JB.
I have looked all week trying to find the throttle. And when I opened the box up to get out the RS, guess what I found in the bottom of the box was the throttle. Literally spent all week. Hey, the room's nice and clean. Everything. Look through boxes. Now, I do have a backup one, and I have one that doesn't work anymore. But I finally found it thanks to Steve's show and thinking I was going to run the RS this morning. So,
All right.
I already sent out a message to all the officers and everybody that was concerned about me not finding my
Controller.
So Steve's going to go in the wrong direction with the pictures. These are old pictures from 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's because your pictures are numbered backwards.
Now, I don't know if this qualified for the, is it a contest?
No, it's not a contest, but
It's a challenge. Yeah.
But a guy was selling these shirts, And this is the front. That's the back. And I just thought, hey, that's a pretty cool shirt.
Yep.
Mhm.
A gray,
It's train related.
train related, and I'm wearing it. But that's the Tehachapi Loop. That is the loop that goes between Bakersfield in the Central California Valley, up over the mountains down to Mojave, which is just north of here, and then out to Barstow, where all trains go in all directions. Vegas, Arizona, Los Angeles, everything. Now, there's other loops in the country, but this one's kind of neat. It was literally built in the late 1800s by the Southern Pacific. And it was like a 10, 12-year-old girl that came up with the idea. Her dad was the engineer, and they were trying to figure out how to get the train's steam engines at that time up over the elevation. And she drew this on a piece of paper and showed it to her dad, and it's still working as of today.
Cool.
Now, we're at the show, and this guy comes in and he says, I got a van full of Lionel trains. And everybody's just kind of ignoring him. And yeah, we'll come look later. We're running trains and stuff. So I went out to the car to get a sweater for my wife because the AC was a little too cold for her. And he goes, you're out here, come look at my stuff. And he had a van full of Lionel G trains, which I didn't even ask what he wanted for them or anything. But here was this clock in the box. And I offered him $5 for it. And he goes, how about 10? Okay. So again, I didn't even look at it or take it out of the box until about Wednesday, and put a couple of batteries in it. The clock works really well. It's right behind me here. Looks real nice. Makes all kinds of noise. Rather loud too. But guess what? The train's missing. So I thought, oh, I'll go on eBay or something, and I'll find the train for it. And I found out they're going complete with the train for $10. But I got a nice clock. So.
And
There you
Mom,
go.
Tammy and Ray have joined us.
As
Good
well as
morning.
Randall.
Ray. So I don't know. That qualifies. Now here's where I lost it. There was a consignment table. The Tehachapi Loop Club. Their guys, they put stuff out. People buy it. The money goes into the club. There's donations, all that sort of stuff. And I got looking at these, and I'm going, I don't need them, but KV couplers and metal wheels, they're kind of cool.
Yeah, express
So-
boxcars. Put that on the front of a passenger train, and away you go.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a old heavyweight train, like if it was Burlington, it'd go good with my train.
So I've got a couple of Santa Fe Northern steam engines. So they will be used. They will go into service. So yeah, I got something for trains. So
Cool.
yep. So on the same table, I did not buy these. These are not bought. It was Sunday afternoon, and when we were talking to the guys, and one of the guys wanted to know if he could run his train. Sure, we let everybody, as long as it's DCC and metal wheels, you can run them. And they had some left over. There was a few more than this. And I said, the club does a giveaway. I showed them the video from Santa Barbara where I'm giving out to kids and up at Ridgecrest and so forth. And I said, how about you donate these to my club? And I said, at the giveaway, like I do for Tina Marie and from Ron from Classic Model Trains and a few others. I will have a billboard with your logo on it and acknowledge you donated these to give to the kids. And they were like, yeah, then we don't have to take them home. Take them. So these are going into the donation box, which a few weeks ago you saw. That box is overflowing now. So
Very good. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And they had a donation jar. I put $3 in it. So, here. But I didn't buy them. These were donated. So,
All right.
that qualified. The 2 Santa Fe cars, yeah, that definitely. The T-shirt and the clock, kind of. But yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. There we go.
Very good.
Bernard had a question about the runaway train. No, that was not at the Loop. Loop has more problems with locomotives catching fire. They have train fires up there a lot. The thing I think Bernard was talking about was Cajon Pass, where SP was bringing potash out of Trona. They had something like 3 engines on the front, and they added 2 helpers at the rear. And they didn't realize one of the engines on the front was not working. I mean, it was dead. And one of them on the rear had no brakes, and the other one, there was some kind of mechanical problem. And the speed limit coming down Cajon Pass is 15 miles an hour. And when the engineer realized they were up to like about 25, started applying brakes and nothing happens, he put it into emergency load. The engineer in the rear 2 trains, locomotives, they didn't know what was going on. Communication wasn't well. And they did something which released the brakes altogether. And at the bottom of the pass, the speedometer, I guess, only goes up to 100, 110, and it was pegged. It was beyond that.
Wow.
And at that point, the whole train became an airplane. It left the tracks and went into a housing unit. People were killed, all kinds of stuff. Then a week later, while they were cleaning the mess up, they nicked the high-pressure pipeline that pumps fuel, everything out to Vegas and the air base up there. And I was working across the valley and saw the mushroom cloud go up. It blew up the whole neighborhood. The whole area now is a big park. They don't even let people live there.
Huh.
But that wasn't the Loop. That was Cajon Pass. So.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be a Friday Live and mail call without an Ollie update.
Yes, please.
So there we go. We got our Ollie update.
Oh, yes.
For those that aren't familiar, this is High's new golden retriever.
Mm-hmm. And is growing fast.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So cool.
It seems like just a week ago it was a little tiny puppy.
Little tiny puppy.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm back to me now.
Yes, you are. You. Other than my painting project, I don't think I got anything else done. Of course, I showed my 3D printed Jeeps last week, which, other than the gear shift and some bumps here and there, they turned out very good. I mean, for a free program, we need to make some slight adjustments to it. As I said, the gear shift was stuck to the center stanchion that holds up the very fine dashboard or windshield frame. I was just looking at a couple on eBay, and their frames are like 10 times the thickness of mine. So it turns out it's a pretty good program. I still have to figure out how I'm going to put a windshield in them. I thought about using that windshield glue to make
micro crystal clear.
Yes, yeah. I don't know how many times I'd have to do it to make one windshield. That's
Yeah, you could do it like Mike Buddy does it.
yeah. I don't know. The tape is so. The tape's almost thicker than the frame of the windshield.
What I did for the windows, because the observation car, that heavyweight observation car that's up top there, didn't have windows in it. So what I used to glaze the windows was I took a clear sheet of plastic overhead paper. Well, not paper, but for transparency, like we used to use in school. One of those and sliced it and put it in there. So
Because now, see how thin that frame is? I
Yeah.
can't get it right, but that's real thin.
yep.
There you go. It's better.
There we
Yes,
go.
it's the light. It's a little fuzzy, but at least you're blocking the light. So that was
Yeah, but
washing it
no,
out.
it did nice, So, yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to cut this short because I am literally baking in here with that garage door closed.
Oh, it's
So-
like 72 degrees in here.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
power
I
to
think
you.
we're right about 80. It's actually cooled down here on the California desert.
I'm hoping by this time or shortly thereafter next year, I will have a new train shed.
Yeah.
So we
Very
shall
good.
see how that develops. So anyway, hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us here at the Retirement Railroad Friday Live and Mail Call. And y'all have a great day.
See
Bye now.
y'all. Bye.